Listen to me carefully. When God calls your name, He doesn't whisper into the noise of your life. He interrupts it. He shakes it. He disrupts it. Because when heaven tags you, it means the earth can no longer hold you the same way. Woman, you have been set apart and you know it. That's why certain things don't feel right anymore. Why certain people no longer fit, and why the comfort you once enjoyed now feels like a cage. That is not confusion. That is confirmation. You've been tagged by heaven. When God places His mark on you, you stop living for the approval of people. Their opinions no longer define you because the one who created you has already identified you. Detachment is not a weakness. It is the highest form of strength. You detach not because you don't love, but because you refuse to be imprisoned. You detach not because you are cold, but because your fire must burn for God's assignment, not for man's distraction. Every woman tagged by heaven must walk through a season of isolation. Don't despise it. Don't fight it. That wilderness is not punishment. It is preparation. God is stripping away the noise so you can hear His voice. He is removing the counterfeit so you can recognize the authentic. He is cutting ties that bind so your wings can finally spread. Detachment is proof that heaven is rearranging your relationships to match your assignment. You see, when you know heaven has identified you, you carry yourself differently. You no longer tolerate being mishandled. You no longer explain your value to those blind to it. You no longer beg for attention in rooms that were never designed to hold your greatness. Confidence is born when you realize who tagged you. And woman, heaven itself has called your name. There will be moments when the detachment feels painful, when the separation feels unfair, when you wonder why certain people left your side. But hear this, when heaven tags you, not everyone can go with you. Some relationships expire the moment your assignment matures. Some circles collapse because your destiny can no longer be contained within them. That is not loss. That is divine editing. God is removing what weakens you so He can position what strengthens you. Do not fear release. Strength is found in letting go. You don't have to chase anyone or force anything. What is aligned with heaven's tag on your life will find you, honor you, and walk with you. What is not aligned will fall away, no matter how tightly you hold it. Your detachment is the proof that you trust the hand of God more than the grip of man. Woman, you are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You have been tagged by heaven. That is why your spirit feels unsettled in places where you once found comfort. That is why you can't tolerate what you used to ignore. That is why you are drawn to purpose even when others call it strange. Because heaven has whispered your name and the earth will never see you the same again. When heaven tags you, it is never random. God is intentional in everything He does. The fact that He singled you out means there is something inside you that carries eternal significance. You were not chosen because of your comfort. You were chosen because of your assignment. Every time God identifies someone, it is to solve a problem in the earth. He never calls a woman for decoration. He calls her for demonstration. He places His hand on you because you have a role that no one else can fulfill. That tag is a divine endorsement, a heavenly reminder that your life is not an accident and your presence is not optional. When God tags you, He places a demand on you that ordinary people may never understand. You begin to feel different, to think differently, to desire things that others overlook. That is because your spirit is being awakened to purpose. This is why the season you are in feels heavy, why you sense pressure that others cannot explain. Pressure is the evidence that heaven is pushing something out of you. It is not a burden of punishment. It is the weight of responsibility. Being tagged by heaven also means you can no longer live on borrowed identity. You cannot be satisfied imitating others or seeking validation from people. You are chosen because God placed within you a solution for this generation, and that requires that you embrace your own uniqueness. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original you. When heaven tags you, the timing may not align with your plans, but it always aligns with God's purpose. You may not feel ready, but heaven never makes mistakes. The same God who called you is the God who equips you. The tag is both an invitation and a guarantee, an invitation to rise and a guarantee that His grace will carry you. Emotional and spiritual detachment is one of the greatest gifts God gives to those He has marked for purpose. It may feel like loss at first, but in truth, it is protection. Detachment is not about rejecting people or isolating yourself out of bitterness. It is about preserving the purity of your assignment. When heaven has tagged you, not everyone is allowed access to your heart. God separates you so that your spirit will not be polluted by the wrong influences. He knows that relationships can either accelerate destiny or suffocate it. And so he gently pulls you away from anything that has the power to delay your calling. Detachment is often misunderstood. People may accuse you of being distant or cold, but in reality, you are learning to guard your purpose. You are no longer emotionally entangled with the need for approval, the fear of rejection, or the desire to please everyone. This is where true strength is revealed. When you can love deeply but still release freely, the one who is anchored in God does not have to cling to what is not aligned with their destiny. God teaches you detachment because he knows your assignment requires clarity. You cannot discern his voice if you are drowned in the noise of attachments that drain you. The strength of detachment lies in focus. When you let go of what is unnecessary, you make room for what is eternal. Your peace increases, your discernment sharpens, and your confidence rises because you no longer depend on people to define you. To be tagged by heaven means your heart must be disciplined enough to let go when God says release. It is not weakness to walk away, it is wisdom. It is the mark of someone who understands that preservation is more important than popularity. Confidence is not the product of compliments or applause. It is the fruit of identity. When heaven tags you, your confidence flows from the unshakable truth of who called you. You are no longer tossed back and forth by the shifting opinions of people because you understand that human approval is fragile, but divine recognition is eternal. Knowing that God himself has chosen you eliminates the need to beg for attention or validation. You are not confident because of what people say about you. You are confident because of what God has spoken over you. Many women struggle with insecurity because they have tied their worth to the acceptance of others. But when you realize you have been tagged by heaven, your worth is settled before you ever enter a room. You are not trying to prove yourself. You are simply walking in what God has already affirmed. Confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet assurance rooted in divine identity. It is the calm strength that comes from knowing, and I am who God says I am, whether anyone believes it or not. This kind of confidence changes how you carry yourself. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for your gifts. You stop lowering your standard to keep company with people who don't recognize your value. Confidence born from heaven's tag gives you the courage to walk away from environments that dishonor you and the boldness to embrace spaces that challenge you. The moment you recognize that heaven has identified you, your posture shifts. You no longer question whether you belong. You know you do. And even if no one else sees your value, you keep moving because the God who tagged you will make sure your purpose cannot be hidden. When heaven tags you, isolation becomes part of the journey. It is not rejection, it is strategy. God knows that in order to shape you for your assignment, he must sometimes remove you from familiar places, comfortable relationships, and circles that no longer serve your purpose. Isolation is not meant to break you, it is meant to prepare you. In the quiet of separation, God begins to reveal who you truly are without the noise of opinions and the weight of expectations. Many resist this season because it feels lonely, but loneliness in the hands of God becomes the womb of greatness. Every great woman in history who was tagged by heaven endured a period of separation. It is in isolation that strength is forged, clarity is birthed, and vision is sharpened. Without it, you would be too distracted to hear the still small voice of God. Sometimes he silences your environment so he can awaken your spirit. The people who once surrounded you may not understand why you have pulled back, but it is not personal. It is providential. Heaven is aligning you, and alignment often requires distance. Isolation also exposes your dependence. It shows you what you were leaning on that could not sustain you. When God strips away the crutches of people, positions, and patterns, you learn to stand on him alone. That is when your confidence shifts from being externally supported to being internally secured by his presence. Though the process feels uncomfortable, isolation is a sign of heaven's investment in you. God trusts you enough to separate you. He believes your assignment is worth protecting. And while others may interpret your silence as weakness, it is in that silence that God is writing the next chapter of your destiny. When heaven tags you, your value is sealed by God himself, and that value is not open to negotiation. You are not defined by the roles people give you, the labels society attaches to you, or the opinions others carry about you. Your worth was established long before you were born, and no circumstance in life has the power to diminish it. To be tagged by heaven means your identity is rooted in divine intention, not in human perception. You are valuable not because people say you are, but because God decided you are. This is why detachment becomes necessary. When you understand your worth, you refuse to remain in spaces where you are tolerated instead of celebrated. You no longer settle for relationships that dishonor your identity. You no longer allow others to dictate your significance. Being tagged by heaven means you have been appointed as a carrier of purpose, and anyone who tries to reduce you is in direct opposition to the one who sent you. Your value is not measured by the size of your circle or the attention you receive. It is measured by the eternal purpose you carry. Sometimes the people closest to you cannot see it because familiarity blinds them. But the absence of recognition from men does not erase the recognition of heaven. God often hides the treasure within you until the appointed season, so you must guard your heart against anyone who attempts to devalue what he has deposited. Detachment then is a declaration, I know who I am, and I will not allow myself to be mishandled. It is not pride, it is stewardship. You are responsible for protecting the value heaven has placed in you, and that requires refusing to be diminished by anyone's limited understanding of your worth. When heaven tags you, everything about your life begins to align with purpose. This is why certain doors close while others suddenly open, why some people drift away while others appear at the right moment. Purpose carries its own magnetic pull, and when God identifies you, he orchestrates divine alignment. You don't have to chase opportunities that are outside your assignment, because what belongs to you will be drawn to you. Alignment is heaven's way of ensuring you are equipped for the task you were chosen to fulfill. Detachment plays a vital role in this process. As long as you cling to what is not aligned with your calling, you block the flow of what is. God removes what is unnecessary to make room for what is essential. It may hurt when certain relationships end, or when familiar environments no longer feel right, but those shifts are not random. They are the evidence that heaven is rearranging the details of your life to match the weight of your assignment. Alignment also means that the right people will find you. Destiny helpers are drawn to the mark of heaven upon your life. They may not look like what you expected, but they carry the resources, the wisdom, or the support required for your journey. When you are aligned, you don't force connections. They happen naturally because heaven has already prepared them. The beauty of alignment is that it confirms you are not walking alone. It is proof that God is guiding your steps, weaving together unseen threads to position you exactly where you need to be. Even delays and detours serve the plan. Every step, every shift, every separation is working together to bring your life into perfect harmony with heaven's assignment. True strength is not found in how tightly you can hold on, but in how freely you can let go. When heaven tags you, God will often require you to release things, people, and seasons that no longer serve your purpose. At first, letting go feels like weakness, as if you are surrendering control or losing something important. But in reality, release is an act of trust, a declaration that you believe God's hand is stronger than your own grip. It is not a sign that you are powerless. It is a sign that you are powerful enough to obey. Detachment through release is proof that your faith is anchored in God's sovereignty. Anyone can cling to what they know. It takes courage to walk away from what is familiar into what is unknown. Letting go is not about abandoning responsibility. It is about refusing to carry weights that were never meant for you. The strength of release comes from understanding that whatever is aligned with your destiny will remain, and whatever is not will fall away. Many times, the things we struggle to hold on to are the very things limiting us. God knows that attachments can become cages, and so he gently but firmly requires us to release them. When you let go, your hands are free to receive the new. When you release, your heart is open to greater possibilities. Release is not loss, it is transition. It is God clearing the space for something higher, better, and eternal. Strength is not proven in how much you can endure in bondage, but in how willing you are to step into freedom. Every time you release, you declare with confidence that you belong to a bigger plan. Your letting go becomes heaven's opportunity to show you what was waiting all along. Woman, heaven has placed its mark upon you, and that means your life can never remain ordinary. You have been chosen, separated, and appointed for a purpose greater than yourself. The seasons of detachment, the moments of isolation, the pain of release, all of it is evidence that God is shaping you for an assignment only you can carry. Do not mourn what has left. Do not chase what has been cut away, and do not doubt the path that feels unfamiliar. Every shift is a sign that heaven is at work within you. Stand tall in the confidence of who tagged you. Walk boldly in the authority of your identity. Refuse to shrink, refuse to settle, refuse to be silenced. The God who called you has equipped you, and the world is waiting for the woman heaven has already endorsed. You are not overlooked. You are marked. You are not abandoned. You are chosen. You are not weak. You are unstoppable. Woman, you have been tagged by heaven, and nothing on earth can erase that seal.